I wanted to give you some feedback so that you can kind of get a sense of where we're at so far on this group project assignment. A couple of things I have noticed in my review. I'm looking over at the grade book right now. One of the things I've noticed is that the scores for the first two groups of sections, that would be 6-3 and 7-3, sections 1 and 2 and sections 3 and 4. I am noticing that the scoring in those have been below the average for classes that I have taught in the past. And I'm a little concerned by that. One of the things I see a strong correlation between in the poor performance in the grade book, meaning lower scores for these assignments. The correlation is when groups are having trouble normalizing and finding a way to function together. Some of the groups are, there's a few groups that I've had a chance to engage with regarding some performance related issues and looking to see those groups really step it up to fix those issues so that more definitive and drastic action can be avoided. There are other groups that are really kind of clicking along that with just a little bit of misunderstanding perhaps about some of the information or something like that. And I want to again remind everyone that the textbook is a very valuable resource to you. The sales dialogue that we're filling out as part of this project, that is this project, comes directly from the textbook, and there are corresponding pages that are listed in the instructions for these assignments, as well as if you go and review in Chapter 6, you'll see that there is some specific feedback regarding these sections. So I would encourage you to be reviewing those as you begin your work each week in that particular section. And the most important thing that I can't stress enough is that you and your teammates should be each other's lifeline for this assignment. If your team is struggling to connect, and if it's causing divisions within the group, then I am happy to serve as a more of a middle person for that. But also keep in mind that this is a graded assignment, and if you are someone in the group who is not performing well, who's choosing not to submit work on time, who's not showing up for the group collaborations, you are in danger of being removed from your group. And once removed, I do not require other groups to take you in. That's not fair to them because they've already established their group dynamics, and I'm not going to disrupt that because you were not able to stay in your original group. So keep that in mind. This class requires that the final project be passed in order to pass the class. And the final project is only a group project. I don't allow individual final projects. So this is something that some of you need to take a little more seriously so that you can help your group be successful. If your group is struggling in a certain regard or just has questions, have your group project manager contact me, and I can give you some feedback on some ideas that you might try to help make your time as a group more successful. Now, as you go into this week's collaboration session, I want you to be mindful of a couple of things. Competitors. In that competitors section, please remember that there are numerous competitors. Since we're selling hooded sweatshirts to Target, there are numerous competitors. Some of them internal, that they're already inside of Target, maybe a Target house brand. Some of them are going to be external. And those competitors are going to have multiple strengths and weaknesses. I should not see any assignments that come in that show a one competitor with one strength and one weakness, because that's unrealistic. I need you to be more thoughtful in your completion of that section. And likewise, you need to also be thinking of product-related strengths and weaknesses, as well as distribution strengths and weaknesses. What benefit, for example, would Nike have, in terms of their distribution network? How would that benefit them in making a competitive advantage for them versus your company? The the fact that they have such great reach and such well-defined supply chain and all those kind of things, those are things that really make them a strength. So you're going to have to be aware of those strengths and know how you're going to combat those. And then what are the weaknesses that come with them? How about some PR weaknesses? There's some things that have occurred with Nike or with whomever else you might choose that might be a disadvantage for them. Things that are related to their standing in the community, maybe some environmental problems that they've run into in their manufacturing, maybe some ethical problems they've run into. Those are the kind of things that you can utilize as part of crafting and differentiating your company from your competitors. And then the final section that's due this week, the adapt sequence. You'll notice that it says that a minimum, the minimum that is required, but that you should do more than the minimum. I can't stress that enough. If you give me 2 questions, which is the minimum, and only one of them is correct, then that's 50% for that item. And that's not the way to go. I would rather you gave me 5 or 6 adapt questions for each of the letters in the adapt sequence. Because let's say if you mess up on one of them, you still have 4 other ones that'll earn you full credit. That's your way to be successful there. And you need to make sure that those open-ended questions occur in the assessment, discovery phases, and then also into the activation. You need to make sure that you understand what is an adapt question, depending on the phase you're talking about. And please don't make them match in any way, similarly or exactly, anything found in the textbook, because once that happens, I cross that one out and I don't even consider it. So please consider these things. Put some real good collaborative effort into this week's work. And let's make this a really successful week for everyone. Okay, if you have questions, have your group project manager send me a Canvas message, and I can address your questions that way. That's the most efficient way to get those questions asked and answered. And if you need help, I am here to help. So take care, and let's make it a great week.